Most founders think having $100,000 in the bank means they're doing well. But if you're spending $50,000 a month, you're not rich. You're broke in 60 days. That speed of spending is called your burn rate. And burn rate answers one brutal question every startup eventually has to face. How much time do you actually have left? Because revenue can lie, valuations can lie, user growth can lie, but cash never does. Burn rate is the clock that's always ticking in the background, whether you're paying attention to it or not. Let's start by simplifying what burn rate actually means. Burn rate is how fast your company is spending cash. Not profit, not revenue, cash. And there are two different types that every founder needs to understand: gross burn and net burn. Gross burn is the total amount of cash leaving your bank account every month. Salaries, rent, software, marketing, cloud costs. If you look at your bank statement and add up everything that went out last month, that's your gross burn. Think of gross burn like a bathtub with the drain fully open. It shows how fast water is flowing out, regardless of anything else. Now let's talk about net burn. Net burn is gross burn minus revenue coming in. It's how much cash you're actually losing every month. Same bathtub, but now the faucet is dripping. Some water is still leaving, but some is coming back in. If your company spends $100,000 a month but brings in $40,000 in revenue, your net burn is $60,000. Gross burn shows spending behavior. Net burn shows survival reality. And if you only track one of them, you're flying blind. Now let's connect this to the most important concept of all: runway. Runway is how long your company can survive before it runs out of cash. The formula is painfully simple. Cash balance divided by net burn equals months of runway. That's it. No complicated finance theory, no fancy dashboards. Just math. If you have $300,000 in the bank and a net burn of $50,000 per month, you have 6 months to live. Not 6 months to figure it out. Not 6 months to try a few things. 6 months until zero. Now let's make this real. Imagine a SaaS startup with $1 million in the bank. Sounds safe, right? But they're spending $200,000 a month. Salaries are high. Marketing is aggressive. Infrastructure is overbuilt. Revenue is only $50,000 a month. That means net burn is $150,000. Runway? Just over 6 months. This is not a hypothetical. This exact situation has killed hundreds of startups. Now compare that to a different company. They also have $1 million in the bank, but they burn $80,000 gross, and they bring in $60,000 in revenue. Their net burn is only $20,000. Their runway? 50 months, over 4 years. Same cash balance. Completely different future. This is why burn rate matters more than almost any other metric in the early stages. It tells you how much room you have to make mistakes. Now let's talk about a famous example. WeWork. At its peak, WeWork raised billions of dollars. From the outside, it looked unstoppable, but behind the scenes, the burn rate was massive. They were losing billions per year. Not because the idea didn't work, but because spending scaled faster than sustainable revenue. Even with unlimited access to capital, burn rate eventually catches up. When funding dries up, the clock speeds up. Burn rate doesn't care how famous you are. Now here's where most founders make a dangerous mistake. They assume burn rate is fixed. It's not. Burn rate is a result of decisions, and there are only 2 levers that actually matter: increase cash coming in or decrease cash going out. That's it. Everything else is noise. Let's start with increasing cash coming in. This does not always mean selling more. Sometimes the fastest win is collecting faster. Shorter payment terms, upfront billing instead of monthly, annual plans instead of monthly subscriptions. Improving cash collection can extend runway immediately without changing your product or team. Now let's talk about cutting costs. This is where founders get emotional, because costs feel like commitments: salaries, tools, office space. But burn rate doesn't care about comfort. Every recurring cost shortens your runway. The question isn't, is this nice to have? The question is, does this buy us more time or less? Time is the real currency of startups. More time means more experiments, more learning, more chances to find product market fit. Less time means panic decisions. Now here's the mindset shift. Burn rate is not about being cheap, it's about being intentional. A high burn rate is not bad if it's buying speed towards something proven. A low burn rate is not good if the company is going nowhere. The danger is burning fast without traction. That's when burn rate becomes fatal. Every founder should be able to answer 3 questions instantly. What is our gross burn? What is our net burn? How many months of runway do we have? If you can't answer those without opening a spreadsheet, you're already late. Burn rate doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're on a clock. And the founders who survive are the ones who respect the clock. Because in startups, money doesn't buy success. It buys time. And burn rate tells you exactly how much of it you have left.